Hi everyone, welcome back to Sahab Academy. Today in this video we are going to discuss about debit note and credit note, how it all works, what's the difference between these two and everything we are going to understand. So let's just begin this video and let's discuss about debit note and credit note. Now see here we have this beautiful example to understand the concept of debit note and credit note, which is very simple and straightforward. Let's just say there was this Dr. Ruhi who has worked in an hospital for many years and she is well known by all the people. So now she felt that she should open her own clinic and along with that a pharmacy. Okay. And let's just say she did that. She opened her own clinic and pharmacy. Now she needed medical equipment. So she purchased medical equipments from somewhere and now she needed medical supplies. So she contacted a supplier called as KK Industries, whom she knew from the hospital days only. So KK Industries agreed to provide her medical supplies on credit. That's the main thing, on credit, which means Dr. Ruhi will not pay any money right now. She promised to pay money after 3 months. So Dr. Ruhi purchased medical supplies worth 9 lakh rupees on credit. Okay, 900,000. So KK Industries agreed and KK Industries, shipped the medical supplies and it was delivered to Dr. Ruhi. From the point of Dr. Ruhi, this is a credit purchase. And from the point of view of KK Industries, it is what? Credit sale. You all know this. Yeah. So the invoice amount is of 9 lakh. Okay. So how the transaction will be recorded in the books of Dr. Ruhi? Dr. Ruhi will record purchase account debit to KK Industries 9 lakh 9 lakh. What's the logic of this journal entry? You will say purchase account, purchase has happened. So 9 lakh we have recorded and Dr. Ruhi accepts that she has to pay 9 lakh money after 3 months to KK Industries. So that's why she's crediting KK Industries. A payable she's recording, right? Of 9 lakh. Liability is increasing. So she's recording like that. She's crediting KK Industries. Is it clear? Simple and straightforward. On the other hand, for KK Industries, it's a credit sale transaction. So KK Industries will have to receive money after 3 months. So KK Industries will debit Dr. Ruhi account. Yeah, Dr. Ruhi is their asset, receivable. They have to receive money in future after 3 months. So Dr. Ruhi account debit 9 lakh to sales account. Sales is their income, isn't it? It's their income, yeah. They have made sales, so they have to record the sales. Simple and straightforward. Then what happened was, understand, after checking all the boxes and everything, Dr. Ruhi found a box worth 1 lakh was damaged in transit. Yeah, she comes to know medical supplies worth 1 lakh are damaged in transit, right? So obviously she will return this. So this is a case of purchase return. It's a transaction of purchase return. She will immediately call the KK Industries and let them know one of the box was damaged in transit and I am returning it. So KK Industries said, okay, fine, just send the items back to us and we will accept the return after checking and everything and we will issue a credit note. Now what is this? We don't know. Okay, fine. So tell me, how purchase return will be recorded in Dr. Ruhi's books? You will say it's really simple. Purchase return is opposite to purchase account. So purchase return account is credited. Yeah, purchase account is debited. So opposite to that, purchase return will be credited. Fine. And then the debit would be what? Debit would be KK Industries. Because Dr. Ruhi doesn't have to pay 1 lakh to KK Industries because she has returned 1 lakh worth of items, isn't it? Yes. So KK Industries account will be debited. Remember this, KK Industries account will be debited. What is the meaning of this? Meaning is liability is reducing, payables are reducing. She doesn't have to pay 1 lakh anymore after 3 months, right? She will pay only 8 lakhs, not 9 lakhs, only 8 lakhs. Liability is being reduced, so she is debiting that. Is that clear? Okay. So she returned the box, okay? She returned the box along with the debit note. Now, what is this debit note? Understand. Debit note is a document used to inform, to notify the other party. Who other party? KK Industries. That we have, we have debited their account in our books. Isn't it? Dr. Rui has debited KK Industries in her own books. She has reduced the liability. the payables. How would the debit note look like? Debit note would look like this. Debit note, Dr. Ruhi's clinic, the address of Dr. Ruhi's clinic, and then debit note number. Every debit note will have a, a number. Okay, fine. The date of the debit note when it was issued, to whom this debit note is being sent. It is being sent to KK Industries, the supplier, the seller. And then we are debiting your account by 1,100,000 for below mentioned reason. Medical supplies returned due to damage in transit. Yes, that's the reason. It is prepaid by Dr. Ruhi, or her accountant name will come over here with his signature and everything. And then here there will be the stamp of Dr. Ruhi's clinic. Is it clear? The format can be different also, but these are the main things that should be there in a debit note. Okay? Is it clear? Simple and straightforward. You don't have to remember it, it's just common sense. So the box will be received by KK Industries, the damaged box. Okay? Yeah, see here. All right, send the items back to us and we will reduce the amount receivable from you and issue a credit note. Yes, that's what the KK Industries said on the phone. Yeah, with Dr. Ruhi. Now, they have received the box, they have received the debit note, right? So they got to know that they have debited. Dr. Ruhi has debited their account in their own books. Now, KK Industries has to record what? From Dr. Ruhi's point of view, it's a purchase return. From KK Industries' point of view, it's a sales return, isn't it? Yes, they have made a sales. Now they have got a return. So it's a sales return. How to record sales return? Sales return is opposite to sales. So it will be debited. Sales return account debit 1 lakh, and credit will be what? To Dr. Ruhi account 1 lakh. Why Dr. Ruhi account is getting credited? Understand. In future, KK Industries is not going to receive 1 lakh from Dr. Ruhi. They are going to receive only 8 lakh. So they have to reduce the amount receivable from Dr. Ruhi. So they have done that over here to Dr. Ruhi account. They have credited the Ruhi account. Ruhi is an asset account, a receivable account. They are crediting it, they are decreasing it, because they will not receive 1 lakh from Dr. Ruhi. They will receive only the remaining amount, 8 lakhs. Okay? Fine, understood. Asset is being reduced over here. Here receivables was reduced and here payables was reduced. Yes. Now they will email a credit note to Dr. Ruhi after passing this entry. Yeah. What is this credit note? Credit note is a document used to inform, to notify the other party. The other party is Dr. Ruhi, that we have credited their account in our book. See here, Ruhi account is credited over here. That's why we use credit note. Okay, so you understood clearly now the purpose of debit note and credit note. Debit note is issued to inform the other party that we have debited. And understand, by issuing a debit note, what did Dr. Ruhi do? Dr. Ruhi reduced payables. She's a buyer. She reduced payables. She reduced the invoice amount. On the other hand, KK Industries, when they issued the credit note and they are the seller, what happened? They reduced the invoice amount. They reduced their receivables, the amount that they have to receive from their buyer. Is it clear? Document used to inform the other party that we have credited their account in our books. Now, how does this credit note looks like? See here, it's really simple. The same way, credit note, KK Industries, the address of KK Industries, credit note number. Yes, debit note or credit note, it will have a distinct number. The date when the credit note was issued, to whom it is being sent, it is sent to the Dr. Ruhi, their buyer, their customer, right? We are crediting your account by 1 lakh for below mentioned reason, isn't it? Medical supplies returned due to damage in transit. Is it clear? Prepared by KK Industries, or their accountant name and signature will come over here and then the stamp over here. Is it clear? Simple and straightforward. You understood? It's common sense, the format and everything. Okay, so you have clearly understood what is debit note and what is credit note. Now let me tell you, understand, this is one of the common example I gave you, purchase return, and for the other party it's a sales return. Yeah, see here, it is not necessary that buyer will only issue debit note or seller will only issue credit note. No, understand, buyer can issue debit note as well as credit note, seller can issue debit note as well as credit note. It depends upon the situation. What happens if buyer issues debit note? If buyer issues debit note, then invoice amount goes down, right? And if the buyer issues credit note, the invoice amount goes up. Yeah, and for buyer, payable will also go down and payable will also go up, right? I mean, in debit note it will go down, in credit note it will go up. Okay, that's what we saw over here. Buyer issued what? Debit note. What happened? Invoice amount went down from 9 lakh to 8 lakh, isn't it? 1 lakh was reduced, payable was reduced, payable was reduced because of debit note, and the case was purchase return. Yes. Now it can also happen that seller can overcharge the buyer. Instead of 9 lakh, seller can charge, let's just say, 10 lakh. Okay, actually the supplies which were received by Dr. Ruhi was of 9 lakh only, but in the invoice KK Industries said pay me 10 lakh. So that's a case of overcharging the customer. Okay, so that's because of a mistake. Okay, wrong amount in the invoice. So now what the Dr. Ruhi will do? Dr. Ruhi will call the KK Industries and confirm everything, and then issue a which note? Debit note. Okay, debit note. Because of debit note, what will happen? The amount will reduce, payables will reduce. Let's just say by 1 lakh. We said 10 lakh, right? Actual was only 9, so 1 lakh extra was there, so 1 lakh we reduce. So that's a case of seller has overcharged us. Is it clear? Simple. Now buyer can also issue a credit note. Because of credit note, what happens? Invoice amount will increase and payables will also increase. Let's just say, for example, the actual supplies was of 9 lakh. Okay, Dr. Ruhi received the items worth 10 lakh. 10 lakh they received, right? So if they have received 10 lakh worth of items, then they will call the KK Industry and let them know that we have received extra 1 lakh. Then KK Industries will say, okay, issue us a credit note. Issue us a credit note. Then they will issue a credit note. Who? The buyer will issue. Dr. Ruhi will issue. Okay. Because of credit note, what will happen? KK Industries account will get credited, not debited, credited. Liability will increase even more by 1 lakh. Okay. It will increase to 10 lakh. 1 lakh will be credited. Okay. So that's the case of seller has undercharged. Yeah, they undercharge, isn't it? In the invoice, they charge only 9 lakh, but let's just say the Ruhi received 10 lakh worth of items. That's what I said. Is that clear? So that's the case. Is that clear? And then from the seller, it's exactly opposite, right? You already saw purchase return. Yeah. For seller, it is sales return. And then seller overcharges the same thing only. Yeah, the same example. It's just that if the seller is issuing first, then he will issue credit note. And in undercharge case, if seller is issuing, then he will issue debit note. It's like that. And understand, for seller, what will happen? If he is issuing the debit note, his receivables are increasing, invoice amount is increasing. If he is issuing credit note, receivables are decreasing, invoice amount is decreasing. Understand, over here what happened? Over here, he issued a credit note because he was crediting his receivables. Yeah, his debtor, Dr. Ruhi. Invoice amount was decreasing, the amount was decreasing, receivable was decreasing. He issued a credit note, receivable was decreasing. Is that clear? So that's the thing. Fine. So these are the cases when a debit note or credit note can be issued. So with this example, easily you can understand the complete logic of debit note and credit note. Is that clear? I hope you have understood this. Okay, see you in the next video. Bye.